Yes, we can start with a correct posture, and people who are ready to sit down on the ground, and just in a cross-legged position, like a simple cross-legged position. You know, yeah, you don't have to get it absolutely right, but as right as you can get. It's just to keep the back straight and keep the head centered. Yeah, this is the first thing. People are always wondering why I focus so much on this and why I'm so like they call it almost Nazi about this kind of thing. Is that because since we all are human beings who have a body, and then utilizing that body properly is our one of our first responsibilities. In fact, I call it the only job we actually have is to actually take care of it properly. Yeah, as I mentioned yesterday as well, the thing is that when we are born, when we take this human form and when we have this human body, it doesn't come with a manual, unfortunately. It doesn't come with that thing how to use this instrument. When you buy anything like a camera or anything, it all comes with a manual, but the human body does not come with one. So the thing is that how do we actually use it properly? I mean, that was an answer which I was looking for when I was 16, 17 years old, and that I found that in the Vedic texts. That's how my journey began. You have this body now, you have to do some actions with it. Okay, you do something with this body now. What to do with it exactly? That's where the question comes into play. What do we actually do with it? So the first thing which comes with the body is the posture. Okay, you should think of body as having an axis, like a central axis which comes from your head down to your spine in the back. So that's your axis, that's your central axis. So you have to be balanced around that axis. Okay, so keeping your posture straight, your head straight, and even on your eyeballs, not letting them wander, and not letting them, having a discipline around the central axis. So whenever you're doing any action, you feel like that you are always coming back to the center. You're always coming back to the center. You should have this feeling to always come back to the center, not going left or right. Okay, because I think that there is only one right, which is the center. Even though right is called right, but the real right is the center. Okay, so the thing is that if you go more on the left side or the right side, you might gain some bit of things. For example, if you go too much on the right side, you might become a good chess player, like somebody was talking about chess recently, right now. So you might become a good chess player if you go more on the right side, or if you go more on the left side, you might get more intuition and these kind of more psychic powers. But is the center only where evolution happens. Okay, so left and right have their things, what we can call that they have their certain charms which take people in, to go one way or the other. But it's the center where all our actual upliftment actually happens. So the thing is that what has happened now in the so-called Vedic thing, where we have terms like yoga now. Everybody knows yoga now. Okay, but the thing was that yoga, as it is taught right now, is not Vedic in origin. Okay, and when I say Vedic means I mean 5,000 years and before. I don't mean what has happened in the last 5,000 years. So the real term in Sanskrit, as most people will know out there, is yoga. It's not yoga. Okay, it's yoga, which just meant union. Okay, which was union on the left and right, actually in the center. That's what it actually meant. So the thing was not to put your leg behind your head or put your head on that thing and legs up. And these were not the practices which the rishis of the ancient times did. They never did anything extreme with the body. Actually, the body is not for doing anything extreme with. It's not a thing which you utilize for doing any kind of pain and torture or any kind of extreme action with. That's not what the purpose of the body was, according to the rishis. Okay. And this is an informal interactive session. So if anyone wants to ask about something, they can at any point of time. I don't want to run forward without us being on the same page. Okay. So the thing is that what I was saying was that the ancient Vedic system was about keeping the right posture along the central axis. Okay, so whenever a kid 4 or 5 years old or 6 years old will go to a Gurukul, Rishikul, the first thing they would be taught is actually posture, is to keep your body in the right posture. That was the first thing, very first thing which was taught. Okay. The second thing which came after that was your speech, to speak properly from the center of your mouth. Okay, not from the left side, not from the right side, but from the center of the mouth. Okay, so which was called Ucharan, okay, in Sanskrit, which is diction in English. Okay, the thing is that when you have proper diction, then you can't have any addiction. Okay, you get over any kind of, if you see the word addiction, it is a diction. Means a negative, like not having diction. Then all addictions, no matter what they are in this world, come from a lack of diction. Okay, so we don't realize this, that how much human speech is an important thing. People don't realize that how you speak and how you use your mouth is a very key thing. It's not taught in the schools. I mean, we are taught ABCD and we are taught the alphabet. We are not taught how to use our mouth properly. Okay, so the thing is, the very first thing which you do with your mouth when you have to speak properly is you have to move your jaw properly. Okay, so without moving your jaw properly, if your jaw is not loose and it's tight, you cannot speak properly. Okay, so like I'll make everyone say the word properly first. Okay, one time. So like properly, everyone. Per, li. Okay, pro. It's the awe word. It's a AWE. You know, like when you are awe of something, awe, that awe is there in properly. Okay, so even to, like when everyone was saying that, you notice that your jaw went down. Okay, it had to move properly, like pro, per, li. Okay, so what the rishis did to make this a habit in children from a very young age, they would give them an exercise where you actually tilt your head back like around 30 degrees. You can tilt your head back 30 degrees, all of you, and you open your mouth jaw as much as you can open, and do a ah sound. Ah. Everyone, again. Now, those who are from India out here will know that ah means, what does the ah sound mean in Hindi? What? Come. Okay. So you are asking come. Okay, come. But so when you're looking towards the sky, when you put the head back up, you're looking towards the sky, right? Okay. So you are asking the sky element to come into you. Okay. So you are interacting with the sky element. Okay. Now, which element is the main primary element out of which all of the elements come out? Other four elements. The sky, which is ether, the sky element. All the, fire, air, water, earth, all the four elements come out of the sky element. So it is the prime element. Okay. So connecting with that is the most important thing. Okay. So this exercise not only loosens your jaw, okay, but gives you a connection to the sky element, okay. So the best thing to do this exercise is to actually sit on the ground, like grass or anything, and then do it. So your body is connecting with the earth, okay. When your body connects with the earth, what is that called? Grounding, yes. So then you're grounding, okay, at the time. So you're connecting yourself to the earth, grounding, and connecting yourself to the sky at the same time, okay. So from earth to the sky, everything is covered, okay. So this is a very, very important starting point for any what is called the real yoga, okay. We're not talking yoga here, we are talking yoga, okay. So once we start with this R sound, like when we did all, everybody did it differently, you know. I was looking and I was hearing, you know, the sound was different from everyone, okay. So we'll try to make it more harmonized, where everyone gets to which I'll give you an example of, and people try to follow that, and we'll do it again one more time, okay. So it goes ah. Try it now. It's better this time. It was more harmonic this time. Okay, people were getting to the same note. Let's say, okay. The thing is, you know the symbol like that, which is called Om now. You know that, which is the symbol of creation. Okay, so in last 5,000 years, you know, the sound which is gotten associated with it now is Om. Okay, now, but the thing is that rishis didn't call it Om. Okay, and since it's a symbol, you know, like rishis didn't tell what the sound was. They didn't actually write it down anywhere that this is the sound for it. So, like, you know, the Chinese whispers which happen when 20 people, something goes to 20 people, then it's not the same thing after on the 20th person, you know, what started with the first person. So that's what happened, and people didn't lost the sound, actual sound. And the actual sound of this symbol is actually with what you did right now, and I'm gonna give you the actual sound of the symbol. It's like this is the actual full sound of that symbol, which carries all the vowels in it. So A, E, I, O, U in English, or A, E, I, O, A, I, O, U in Devanagari, all of them come from this sound. So that's why it is the sound of creation. Because sound of creation can't be just Om, like which has just the O sound, okay? Which is what all the so-called gurus and the so-called that things for thousands of years have not been able to tell that. So that's why I find that all the so-called Babas and stuff which have been going around for last 1,000 years have been anti-Vedic, non-Vedic, you know, because if you actually look at Vedic scriptures, you can't find the term Baba anywhere in it. There's no word called Baba in any Vedic scripture anywhere. Okay, if anyone finds me that, like, I'm happy to see that word, like, you know. The thing is that we have, over the last 4,000-5,000 years, even in India, gone totally opposite of the Vedic direction. Okay, I mean 180 degree. Okay, so the actual scriptures and the actual knowledge eludes us because of that. Okay, so this, like, Om thing was just one example of how we have gone wrong and where we have gone wrong, you know. And the thing, what happens is that, like, Mukul was talking about Vedic astrology, and that same thing, if you don't have the basics right in anything, you know, like when you say Vedic astrology, you have the word Vedic first, okay, then astrology, okay, which is Jyotish. Okay, now the thing is that if you don't have any connection to the Vedic way of living or a holistic Vedic approach, you cannot actually go into any Vedic science really, because it's like making a building without having any foundation. Okay, And when you make a building without a foundation, it falls down. It cannot last. And so there's a lot of confusion which has happened in all the Vedic sciences, like Vedic astrology, which is a very confused mess completely right now. If anybody says anything, people come with all sorts of theories, all sorts of things, which don't actually hold true in actual practical reality. Okay, so the same thing happened with Ayurveda. Okay, because in Ayurveda people give people herbs right now, but they don't tell them, okay, you have to change your whole lifestyle. You can't eat this, you can't live like this, you can't. But the thing is that these herbs don't work until you actually change everything. Which is the starting point of that is your posture, because you are defined by your posture and your way of being. Okay, right now also I can see some people's necks are going in the left and right. Okay, because this is a force of habit. Okay, because you have not practiced it. Like the more you practice being in the center, your neck will stay straight. Okay, otherwise it'll always be like this or this. Something is gonna happen. Okay, but the thing is that all these sciences like Vedic astrology, which is Jyotish, Ayurveda, Vastu, these are all connected sciences. You cannot disconnect them. You cannot create a compartmentalization between them. Okay, and that's what has happened. Now if you go, a lot of people, like when they face some bad time or they want to have some question, they'll go to a Vedic astrologer. Okay, when they're having a disease or something, then they'll go to a Ayurvedic person. When they're building their house or something and then they'll go to a Vastu guy. Okay, so this is how the compartmentalization. Now Vastu person doesn't know Jyotish, the Ayurvedic person doesn't know Vastu, the Jyotishi doesn't know Ayurveda. Okay, that's the situation. So like if you go to a Jyotishi and he has to give you a remedy for something, how can he give it actually when he doesn't know Ayurveda? Okay, or he doesn't know Vastu. So where you're living, what you're eating, what you're doing, what your lifestyle is, what you're doing as a whole, he has no idea. So whatever remedy or anything which will come out of that kind of thing will be incomplete. It will not be holistic. Okay, and that's why it won't work actually. The thing is that the Vedic sciences have actually that much power that you can actually change anything. Like nothing is incurable, nothing is a problem. There is no problem for which there is not a solution. Okay, but that solution is holistic. It's not in parts. It's not a bit part solution. Okay, it is, you have to change your whole way of being and living in order to get the required results. Okay, so which might come as a problem to some people because there's a certain amount of discipline which is required for achieving that. So it's not a thing where you can just oh, this person gave me this remedy, I'm just doing that, I'm throwing some thing in a river, or I'm just doing these kind of things which people are told these days, which are like all I call medieval things. They're not Vedic things, they're medieval things, medieval bit parts solutions which are not based in any logic or any reality of any kind. Jyotish is not a joke of a science. It is actually the very structure of this construct we are in. We are inside something. Everybody can see that we are inside. This is sky above us. We are surrounded by something. We are inside of something. Okay, and it's a construct we are inside of. Okay, and what is the law? What is the nature of this construct? That is Jyotish. Okay, it's like what is the operating system of this construct which we are living in. Okay, that is Jyotish. So it's not a small minor thing, it's a highly technical thing. Okay, the thing is that people don't even know how their laptop works. Okay, what is the construct of that, what is the actual construct of that. So even that is complicated enough. Okay, or how a television works. Okay, which is everything which device which you use, like technology, works on the laws of nature only. So if it follows, then only it will work, otherwise it won't work. Okay, the same thing is with this big construct. So the laws and the rules of this construct are there in the Vedic knowledge. That's why it's timeless, because it when this concept came into being, which is called the beginning of creation, from that time those laws are the same. They are same right now, they were same then, and they'll be same billion years from now. Okay, so it's timeless. Okay, so this is the knowledge. It's a serious knowledge. It's not a joke or any kind of thing which people have turned it into in the last, like, especially last 100 years. Okay, I would say 5,000 years, but 100 years especially, because then it has become a sort of what we call like a shops. Like everybody has opened up shops, like yoga shop, Vedic astrology shop, Vastu shop. These are just like ways to have some kind of financial gain. It's nothing to do with actual real knowledge of things, and nothing to do with actual evolution of beings. So in this construct and creation, how does what you call pain and torture and negativity step in this creation? That is a lot of people ask, why is there suffering in this world, so much suffering in this world? Okay, now the suffering is there because you don't know the laws, and when you don't know the laws, you break the laws. Okay, when you break the laws, you get the effect of breaking those laws, and that effect comes out as suffering. Okay, it's not very complicated, this part. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, the effect comes out as suffering. Okay, which is like in a body, like it can be physical pain or a mental anguish or emotional, or any plane, any level you can face that, because you're not following the laws, because you don't know the laws. Okay, like if you're in America, you know the laws of America, you will follow that. Okay, and all of that, but those are not so important to follow as it's important to follow the laws of this construct. Okay, people are much more concerned about following the laws of the country they are in, just so that they don't end up in jail, right? That is the maximum fear, right? Okay, but like if you don't follow the laws of this construct, you're going to end up much worse. Jail will seem like a sweet dream as compared to that. Okay, that's what people don't understand, that these laws are much more important to follow. Okay, this is where the actual thing is. So where do you find those laws? Where are those laws? Where will you find that? Okay, that's where the Vedic knowledge comes in. It tells you those laws starting from your body itself. Like you have a physical body now, so how are you going to deal with it? What are you going to do with it? How are you going to use it? Okay, so that thing is the very first thing. And like if you are misusing the body, for example, in any which way, shape or form, what is the effect of that? How do you come to know about that in this world? How do you come to know about that? Through disease, dis-ease, lack of ease. You don't have ease. Okay, lack of ease. Okay, so this is a nature telling you that you are going in the wrong direction. Now, if you take some kind of pills and like hit at the symptom, which is what the allopathic medicine system is, and just try to reduce the pain, are you actually doing yourself any good? Like, are you actually going to the core root of the problem, which caused the disease in the first place? Are you actually curing that from that level? You're not. Okay, so whenever anything happens, you have to go to the actual core root level of it, the condition of it, where we have to cure it from. So that will be the real solution to that problem. There's a solution, and it's a real solution, but it doesn't lie at that level of where you just pop some pill, whether it's a allopathic pill or a Ayurvedic pill. Does not matter. Just popping a pill is not going to do it. Okay, if you have any disease or something, you are actually have a psychological problem inside, where you are actually psychologically going against the laws of nature. Okay, so that will always lead to some sort of disharmony. Okay, again, the word nature I'm using many times, because the Vedic thing is all about absolute connection to nature. Okay, Prakriti. Okay, without nature, like in the Vedic times, there were no temples first. Okay, there were no temples at all. Okay, so like Rishi Munis, they all lived in jungle. Okay, even somebody had to do a tapasya or a penance, they used to go to the jungle. Okay, they didn't used to go to a temple. Okay, there were no temples. Okay, body was the only temple. Okay, human body was the only temple. And the thing was that if you don't have connection with nature, then you can't be Vedic in any sense of the word. Okay, like, and that's what, like right now in all over the world we have millions of temples, right? We have so many temples. Okay, and our connection with nature is zero. Okay, because we think the god or whatever deities or forces live in temples. Okay, but that's not a Vedic concept. Okay, like they don't live in temples, they live in nature. Okay, the our devtas, which are the Panch Mahabhuts, are what? The five elements. Okay, yeah. So like, it's only connection with nature is a very starting point for any Vedic learning and knowledge. Okay, so when I talked about grounding in the first that thing, so when you're touching earth, you have to establish a connection with the Mother Earth. You have to establish a connection with earth. If you don't do that, first your body is electrical in nature. It will have all kinds of problems, buzzing problems, because all electrical instrument needs grounding. You know that everything in your TV, to every home, you have 3-pin plugs, and third pin is the grounding plug. You know, your body is electrical equipment as well, and it's a more sophisticated electronic equipment than any of your equipments. Okay, so it needs more grounding than anything else. Okay, so we have to, like, in this current state, I know that people don't have any connection with nature, so they have to start in baby steps. Okay, they have to like find 10-15 minutes every day to touch their feet on the ground every day. Okay, you have to go out on your lawn and you have to touch your feet on the ground. Okay, you have, that will create some sense of, because there's a thing called common sense. Okay, and the common sense comes from nature. It's a natural sense actually, and that common sense is very uncommon right now because the connection with the nature is gone. So when you don't have connection with nature, the rest, anything, you cannot learn, understand anything in its reality. Okay, everything will be topsy-turvy, everything will be upside down, everything will be all misaligned. Okay, so that is the very first step. Like, I mean, how many people here like see sunrises and sunsets every day? How many people? No one, right? So the thing is that, like, when you see a sunset, for example, okay, you, just by seeing it, you get a sense of beauty of nature. Okay, you get a sense of connection with it, because why? You are paying attention. Yes, you're paying your attention, you know, you're paying attention, you are actually paying attention to nature. Because if you have to align with nature, you have to connect with nature, you have to first pay attention to it. Okay, even when you come to the ground and touch the feet on the ground, you'll actually feel the earth with your foot for the first time, because right now people all wear shoes all the time and chappals and all kinds of things, they are never touching the ground, right? There is an insulation from the ground at all points of time, so you don't even know what the ground feels like anymore, you know. So you'll actually develop some sort of sense of feeling and like what kind of touch ground feels. Okay, and this kind of thing is like a basic step people have to do. Like right now, like I'm seeing that people are sitting in this, some people are able to sit properly for this much time, and other people are having trouble just sitting properly for more than 10 minutes. Okay, so that is the situation we are at right now. Okay, that we can't sit properly for 5-10 minutes. Okay, without losing our posture. Okay, so I mean, which is something which should be normal to any human being. Okay, where they are able to sit properly for an hour or two without fidgeting, without moving, without having any kind of reflexes, without having any kind of pain in their joints and discomfort. And because it's a very easy posture, you know, like it's not like tough or anything. Yes.
What happens post life according to Vedic prescription?
Okay, what happens? He's asking what happens post life, according to the Vedic scriptures. Okay. Uh, when you say post life, you mean when you leave the physical body. Okay. Uh, just like you have a physical body, you have many bodies inside of you. Okay. So the other bodies come out. Okay. Just like if I'm wearing these clothes and I take these clothes off, okay, then my physical body will be there. Okay. In the same way, if you consider the physical body a cloth, you take that cloth off, then another body will come out. Okay, which is carrying many more, but like a Russian doll. If you've seen a Russian doll, like it has dolls within dolls within dolls within dolls, you break the outside doll, then the inside doll will come out with many dolls inside of it. So we have many bodies, and just when you leave the physical body, the other body comes out. Okay. Yeah. And that body also can feel pain and pleasure, just like this body can. Yes. Yes.
Is there a connection between the first body and the second body?
First body and the second body means physical body and the body which comes out, the astral body which comes out. Yeah, there is a connection. They're connected with the silver cord, actually. And at the moment of death, that cord is cut.
So, if there is a connection,
Yeah.
how do we not feel that connection?
I mean, you actually feel the connection, but you are not sensitive enough. You have become desensitized to actually feeling that. Okay, because the thing is that when you are going in a very what you call anti-natural way, you know, then your feeling nature, your nadis, your uh, nerves don't function that well, where you can actually feel that connection. Okay, but the connection is there. Okay, and you'll feel the disconnection as well when you actually leave the physical body, which when everyone does at that point, they feel that at that time. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you say if you're walking barefoot on this be grounding?
No, this is not grounding.
You
No.
have to actually go on the
That the grass just behind that will be grounding.
and if you have artificial turf, that's not
It,
grounding.
Even if you have an artificial turf, there'll be a that thing. The mud is not artificial.
The mud is you don't
Yeah,
it doesn't connect.
yeah, it doesn't connect. So that it's better to use like a more natural,
More natural.
natural thing. Yeah, yeah. Anything artificial like concrete and stuff. I mean, and that's very hard as well. It's not good for you. The harder surface is that's why like I'm against anything like jogging, any of these physical activities which people do right now because they actually work against your body. They actually shake your organs. That's a pain and torture device, jogging, and especially if you jog on a hard surface like this, you are basically like abusing your body. I would call that abuse. Yeah. Yes. I mean, and we shouldn't abuse, and we're not sending a good message to the universe by abusing us. Then it will say like, okay, you want to abuse yourself, we'll see how much you can take the abuse. Like, so,
So
yeah,
Prash,
yeah,
before you go to the chanting,
yeah.
I mean, what is if you break it down into steps?
Yes.
What? How can you really live this inner, illustry life? Is it mostly centering? Is it? It's a combination of
It's
breathing.
combination of everything. It's holistic. You, like I said, you cannot miss a single piece. The, the piece you miss, immediately you will bring some problem through missing that piece. It's like a whole thing, like grounding you have to do, centering you have to do, connecting with nature you have to do, improving your diet you have to do, improving your living condition. Like a lot of things like not to use these bulbs, like tube lights. Like tube lights are very harmful for your brain waves. LED lighting is harmful for your brain waves. Like the old style bulb, the yellow bulb, that was full spectrum lighting. It's called full spectrum lighting. That is better for your brain. Okay, so there are a lot of things, even in your houses and stuff, you can change, and your habits you can change in order to uh, make sure that your future is not full of pain and torture. Right now what happens is as people grow older, the more diseases they get, right? Is that a fact right now or not? Like, old age means what in this day and age? It means plethora of disease. Okay, like you have become 60 now, you must be time for an operation or two.
Okay. Okay, like, I mean, when the thing was that your physical body should actually get stronger with age. Like in ancient time, Vedic times, the people used to go to Vanprasth, living in the forest at that age. Okay? So that means, I mean, to living in a forest, you need to be fit, right? What is required for being living in the forest? Fitness, right? So people who are like 60, 70 plus, they would be actually fit. Okay? It should not mean that old age should not mean like lack of fitness. Okay? Old age should mean that you have even more control of your body. You know your body even better. You know, you have lived with it for so long that you know it well. So you should be able to tell more. You should be more in communion with it. I'm not saying that you should not be in comfort. I'm not saying that you have to make your body uncomfortable. Okay, I'm not for torturing the body in any way, shape, or form. Even if I'm wearing these clothes, I'm wearing them only because they're not torturing my body. They're very soft and they're very that thing light and they allow the air to come in. Okay. No, it's like, and they are like, you're not a donkey, you know. You should not put things on your body. Like if somebody is wearing a watch, okay, then you're putting extra weight on your body. Okay, and on top of that, it is actually not good for you because this is your heartbeat, for example, here, and your pulse comes here. Your heart does not beat like a clock. Its heart beats in a variable way. It's called heart rate variability, HRV. Okay, and if your HRV is 1, exactly like a clock, you will have zero immune system and you will have all kinds of diseases. So when you're putting a watch out here, you are actually disturbing your heart rhythm with the machine beat on top. Okay, and HRV is a known fact to even the doctors and that things at the top that you have to have. You can't be like a Borg. If your heart actually beat like a clock, that'll be no good for you. See, right now there's a thing called heart tuner, okay, which is a device. People can get it online. Okay, it tells you, you can put it on your heart. It will tell you what your heart rate variability is and how far it is from the golden ratio. Okay, so they actually tell you how far it is from if your heart rate variability is closer to the golden ratio, that is called a heart of gold. You know, like there is a saying called heart of gold. Okay, then you will have a perfect immune system and you can't have any disease. Okay, that when you wear a watch, they can tell you within that thing, if you were closer to that, you will actually be going off that by wearing a watch. Every time, this can be actually done in real time. So this effects you will get into next life as well. It's not going to happen this life. It will carry on. Like you are actually hurting your spirit.
This is called feather cloud. You seen the cloud?
Looks like a feather,
They are
yeah.
like a bird feather. These are feather clouds. Okay, so they manifest as per the magnetic energies when the magnetics get like in the sky like that. So it is like, so whenever you notice that next time, they can become very big bird feathers. Like okay, so these are projectile auras of the thing. So like if you do a talk or something, depending on what the content is, the cloud shapes can actually change. Everyone can hear it. Like, is it loud enough?
Yeah.
It's not a kind of amp I use. I always use tube amplifiers, which are walled amplifiers. This is a transistor amplifier, okay, which doesn't have that level of sound which walled amplifiers, but I'll play it anyways, just to give a that concept. The R sound. R. to a drone, and in that you have to do the R sound, harmonizing with that drone, which we were doing like after the sound finishes. As per the first thing, like this. And now to a higher note. Okay, let's go again. This will take a little bit of that thing. You can hear me well out there? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to give you this. I should hear you loud, like, so I can hear you properly as well. It's feeling fun? Is it fun or not?
Yeah.
It feels fun or? Yes?
It does. It feels like a stress buster.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
it feels like fun. It, like, because it should be enjoyable. Okay. The most important thing is, okay, any discipline should be enjoyable. Okay. So the music makes it
Enjoyable.
enjoyable. That's when you put Venus into Saturn. Okay. So Saturn otherwise is too much for people, but that's where you put the Venus in, and then it becomes more fun. Okay. So then it's easier to do. Okay. Very nice, very nice. You people did well. Like, you're better doing better than a choir group. Like,
We made the cloud run away.
no, other feathers have come. He'll show you from the side. You can come and you can see this. More feathers have come.
Yeah, I was, but I just had some food. So
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you can see the like these things forming like out there. It's even gotten better. It changed within this 2 minutes. Yeah, it's the whole line. I mean, there is a guidance happening, but you people are doing it well. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean, so like that's not like everyone to be a singer. What I'm saying is just to do the right vibration. That's all. You know. And we are not doing for 40 hertz.
we are playing in 432 hertz. Like my guitar is not tuned into normal frequency which people tune their guitar in. Okay. So like it's tuning to better frequencies, 108, 432, and those kind of frequencies. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to play some sounds. You can close your eyes, enjoy, and that thing now. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So we'll. It has a slight burst. I think that's because we don't have enough grounding. That's why the amp is buzzing. Okay. So that's what happens when you don't. This is what happens to your body. It's buzzing like that all the time when you don't have proper grounding. Okay. That's the actual case. So my sound, I'm just mirroring those. You can see the little leaves fluttering like that lightly. Just the light flutter. That's what So you can nature, like if you play something, you can increase the wind to go more to that. So when you play something, it should be in the mood of what that time is and what that is happening around you. It's not disconnected. You should not. It's not like you're playing a song. This is not a song I played before. It's something which I'm playing because of what the ambience right now is. The evening, the sky, the little wind. So sounds are according to connected to what you are in. Okay, environment. It's not just a random